later on tonight.
Very true.
Please tune in later. These guys, though, are about to get to it with some work of their own. Gentlemen'sing to the starting stage with Smashville.
Also, I'd like to just make a slight correction. His actual Twitter handle is at @SSB_Dan, but his display name is Dan the Mario Man.
Yes.
Anyway.
So please go follow Dan if he is able to pull it off. Yeah, when I was talking about like Dan being the human highlight reel, like, you know all those crazy things that Zenyu does like all the time? Dan can like channel that for short periods, and then you're like, what? How? What? But it's going to be up to 8bitman to fend it off. Like, if he senses that momentum rising from Dan, he's got to shut it down.
He was about to get an early start there. He attempted a grab on 8bitman's neutral air on his shield, but 8bitman knows that that's safe on block, so he just rolled behind it and made Dan's grab whiff. All of a sudden, 8bitman running away with tons of momentum right now. And I'd say he's very similar to a player like Dan in that once he gets going, man, it is hard to stop this guy.
That's true, yeah. 8bitman, a very similar style of player. When he gets momentum and he starts doing his Rob things, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, what is normally a pretty slow-paced, maybe not slow, but zoning-oriented character that isn't exactly aggressive can turn into a quick landslide. And just look at 8bitman go. He's 100% up. Though Mario with Rage actually kind of benefits in his combo game, which a lot of characters is quite the opposite.
But it doesn't matter because 8bitman is shutting down every approach that he has. He's controlling the stage completely.
Down throw to one up tilt, nothing afterward. Dan maybe actually suffering from Rage here. A character
now his combos aren't really going to link at this much at maximum Rage. So he's got to figure out a way to get some damage here on 8bitman and try and, crawl back into this, but 130% difference.
Oh, jump sniped by the laser, and the gyro actually just going to kill him clean, but he couldn't have recovered anyway. Dan wiping his brow a little bit, saying, oh man, that was kind of tough, but
yeah, he knows he has a climb, but like I said, if he can maybe get something going, he could bring this right back. But 8bitman has been doing really good at avoiding, the Mario things.
Yeah, Dan going for a lot of those dunks off the stage, but 8bitman is keen to it. I have to say, it was a little bit obvious. He knew that he had to make a comeback, right? But, is that it? No.
Catches landing with the up smash, not quite enough, though. Rob must be made out of some sort of tungsten-like material. It's very heavy.
Yes, and I believe the up smash was still in his stale moves queue because he had done one to anti-air him just before. I could be incorrect, though.
Oh, and he did try and actually reflect that top with a cape, but he was a little bit too early on it, and because of that, 8bitman is just now mounting another assault utilizing that projectile.
Dan actually would have been able to close that stock out on the roll read with up smash had he gone for the reverse one, because the hitbox is much larger in the back. However, he just fell a little bit short, and he's still struggling to close this one out until then.
Dances all over 8bitman's Rob. It's all right, so he's at least at even stocks right now. If he can, again, try and get some Mario stuff going, it's still, possible. But again, 8bitman has been shutting down every opportunity.
I like how Dan is scouting out these rolls, though. 8bitman rolling back after Dan rolled behind him, saying, oh man, I'm afraid of this Mario grab. Let me just get away as far as possible, but no.
Dan is building some momentum here, though.
Yes, he is, and he is just one hit from the lead now.
He has brought this entirely back. Like I said, 8bitman just barely rising above that, but he eats an up smash as he comes back down, and now Dan has gone from 130% down and a stock to in the lead.
Oh, the cleanness! The cleanliness, rather. And he, the reason he was able to get such a big punish is because the placement hit of Rob's up smash on the ground is very, very weak. It doesn't do a lot of block stun or shield push. So that was just a quick block, boom, punish.
Yeah, and that was that. I mean, that was like Gundam burning finger. Like, he just unleashed on the man and was able to take game one.
Oh no! And this is why we ban those. Just saying. Back out. Yeah, they should. Oh wait, it's a gamepad. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say if it was a pro controller.
I need you to bring it down.
Yeah,
you're at like an 8 right now, Max, and I need to bring you down to like a 5.
I mean, on the real, I'm not too adamant about banning wireless controllers. No hate on any wireless players before I get a slew of negativity on Twitter and Twitch chat.
At Juice Doom?
Yeah. Please direct your fire toward me. But no, I mean, as long as people play clean with the wire, it's fine.
It's important, though, that we don't have those mistakes happen, and that's why you need to be very conscious of your controller and make sure that you are making a tournament experience great for everyone. Luckily, though, it was only the gamepad, and now we're going to go here into game 2. Dan, after that start, surprisingly taking game 1 and is now in control of the set.
Oh, short hop down air, which actually is able to auto-cancel because Rob kind of thrusts himself up with that. Very creative stuff from 8bitman. One of Rob's few options to catch rolls since his back air has very long startup and also hits above a lot of characters' heads.
All right, we're going to see some good damage here. Again, 8bitman coming out to a good lead. It took him a long time to seal out the first stock last time. Mario lived to over 200%, so he's got to try and clean that up here. I like the option, didn't go for up air, instead went for the back air that you mentioned earlier to try and read the air dodge.
Very clean from Dan, however, the back air's a turnaround grab, got some stuff going. But now 8bitman's holding down the center. He's got his gyro in hand. He's feeling very comfortable, but just kind of fighting off more than he can chew. Going for a very rogue up smash.
Oh, we're going to see a grab here. That's going to put 8bitman off stage again. Dan has a full charge flood, too. He can do a lot of different things with both of these options.
I like Dan playing a little bit reserved on that landing trap. Not going to throw another up smash out, knowing that 8bitman was ready for it. Ooh, and that frame 3 down tilt from Rob. So quick, just fending Mario off as Dan's looking for an opening. What? The mind games? That's it?
Wow. And he actually was able to wait for the platform. Like he waited for his Uber to arrive and then took Dan for a ride.
Yes, very true. And he threw the gyro down just kind of to throw off the tempo of the match. I like that, sharking through the edge of the stage with up air.
Yeah, 8bitman, he knows he let that game 1 get away from him. Now he's going to try and put the boot on the throat of Dan and get this game 2 to push it to a third.
This man's item play is nice. Trying to pick up the gyro. A lot of people struggle with that. Okay, and he's looking for another up smash, but 8bitman is ready.
You know, I almost feel like Dan throws out all these up smashes as Mario is wont to do to try and be like, oh, hey, I'm only going to try and kill you with up smash.
Yes.
But then, because he threw out like 4 or 5 of them, but then ended up killing stock 1 with a down smash. So maybe he's trying to be like, you know, hey, maybe this is only the option I have, and then deceive him a little bit.
We're seeing some adaptation from Dan, realizing that neutral air is indeed safe on block and continuing the block string, or continuing to block against the string.
Oh, and Dan's got to be careful on the edge. That's the second time he's got caught by the up air sharking through the platform and taken unnecessary damage.
I'm loving that Dan is playing with the gyro himself. Ooh.
Oh. You know, 8bitman retreating, and unfortunately Dan just pressed the issue, caught him with those boots, and now we are at an even stock. But again, Dan at a big deficit. He was able to bring it back this time, or last time. Will he bring it back this time?
Oh, and he actually had used his jump when he went into the gyro, so he was just dead straight up. 8bitman with some crafty setups, man. I feel like every Rob player is going to be looking to place that gyro while it's still spinning on the edge, but only 8bitman and a few others are just so confident in what your potential outs to that might be that they've got it covered no matter what.
It's almost like a chess move. Like when you're once your opponent moves the bishop to the placement, you're instantly being like, all right, if I move this piece here, then this, or this can happen.
E7 is screwed. D4 is screwed.
Your only option your only option is roll to the right.
Right. And of course, game 3 now. Oh, sorry. Allergic reaction. All right, we've got that cruise. A very controversial stage, but one that a lot of players do happen to like, especially to bust out in these game 3 situations. And if you know your opponent's not fond of the stage, you can get a mental advantage off of it as well. I don't know how 8bitman personally feels about it, but
clearly not
either way,
clearly not enough to auto ban. So
exactly,
that means that Dan was able to go here, and these platforms are going to be able to extend his combos. And the only problem is though is that now Rob can also pretty easily reach to that, so he has to be careful landing on the platforms. Does Dan?
By the way, the winner of this set is going to top 32, meaning they'll be playing later in the evening. Loser has to try and get a second shot at it, and losers, yeah, they're going to have to win another set.
It's like, if you've ever seen the show Spartacus, it's like fighting in the pit. Like, it's just, there's going to be so many killers and losers. You just got to try and hope that you make it out. So this is vital to your later success in the tournament.
For sure, and whoa,
that was so amazing.
Good. That covered 2 options. It covered the roll in as well as the tech in place, and he just went for the grab anyway, and it worked out for him. Okay, yeah, Dan going for way too many of these dunks, but I feel like
they haven't been hurting him, though.
Yeah, exactly. He knows it's not going to be hurting him, so it's kind of some next-level conditioning, but it doesn't matter.
Speaking of next level, that was absolutely next level. We've seen a few of those from 8bitman, and gets yet another one. Him and his gyro are besties, and he exactly knows where it's going to be and how it's going to work at all times. He doesn't even have to think about it.
Tell me how this guy knows that the gyro is always going to hit him back toward Rob and not in the other direction. I mean, granted, he can throw the up smash out anyway, but still.
Yeah, he just, again, just without even thinking, he just knows where it's going to be.
Dan reaching real far for that downer to up B confirm, but that is not a true combo, it appears.
Oh, I like that dare usage. It was quick and good knockback on that final hit.
Yeah, pretty much Mario's best way to get an early kill from the air. His other aerials a little bit underwhelming in terms of kill power, but
Dan being a little over-aggressive here, but it does pay off for him.
Yes, getting the whiffed gyro. If you manage to roll in on a whiff projectile, you get a lot of time to punish it, but it is kind of risky because if your opponent just holds the timing off a little bit, then they can hit you on the roll. Oh, and I love how Dan is playing with the gyro again, but this time he lets 8bitman slide with it, and he's just doing these Z-drop nairs, which is so clever because you're able to still use your aerial moveset with an item in your hand, and if you don't do that Z-drop, that is not an option otherwise.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Dan. Oh, he tried to get those up tilts, but 8bitman DI'd up to that platform immediately so that he could tech and, or excuse me, get his shield up in perfect shield.
Now, Rob, generally a character who kind of struggles to land, especially if you're able to see through the smoke and mirrors that his neutral air presents and just wait for it or stuff it out on its slightly long startup, not exactly that long. You can really juggle him for a long time, but 8bitman, very smart, altering his timings with stuff like down airs just to throw Dan off and make sure these juggles don't last very long.
Oh, Dan now has him off stage, and infirm stage control is a good spot for Mario because he can utilize any one of his options.
Oh, and that's it!
And he gets the Fonz combo.
Yes.
Dan is the victor, and Chicago is popping off for their boy.
I was going to say, I hope he doesn't go for up air, up B, because it's not going to kill. And, of course, being that Dan is the Mario expert himself, he knew how to get it done. He had the right amount of rage.
Wow.
Started from the center platform. That was the perfect altitude for him to combo and kill off of that.
That was really great. That's actually a combo that you know, a lot of people have credited Anti for, but was initially put on Twitter and shown by the Wisconsin native Fonz.
Right.
And that dare is just so potent, and we're going to see that at the end of this replay chain that we're about to show you. But we're going to kick it off with some Rob mind games that you mentioned.
Oh, this was so funny, man. Just run that back just a little bit.
And play.
He throws it in place. Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh no! I did it! I did the loop.
Yeah. Went back a little bit too far.
There we go. There we go.
Well, it's left on play. Oh yeah. So he throws it down twice, and Dan just gets stuck in shield because he's so certain that he's going to get thrown at him. And now here we are on Lilat. This is going to be the roll read top to grab.
Yeah, that was so
absolutely sick. And then he even gets the back air to follow it up. But yeah, that grab, you said like it covered so many options.
And here we go, the final kill of the match, starting at 79% and closing at 96.
So we're going to pull that back just really quick here. Gets the down throw and then goes up air, and then instead of up B or anything like that, just goes right to the dare. That final kill kills him off the top.
And that was the perfect sweet spot percentage range where he is able to combo that and kill at the same time. If you were a little bit higher, maybe 20% higher, the up air to down air might not have been within reach for him, and he would have had to extend with up B.
Yeah.
So,
and that would have been dangerous.